Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of Venture Rise. Today we are taking you to Southern Europe for a deep dive into the Italian startup ecosystem. Such incredible innovation ecosystem and one of Europe's most exciting hubs for deep tech, robotics, automation, and industrial innovation. So, if you are curious about breakthrough technologies, startup investment opportunities, and how innovation ecosystem support ideas and turn them into real business, then this session is for you. So we are very happy to have such engaged community with us today, and I really appreciate your presence. Thank you again for joining us today. Feel free to turn on your camera if possible. It always makes the session more interactive. And please, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop it in the chat box. And our guests will answer them by the end of the session during the Q&A questions discussion. So now let's go. Let's get to know our special guest. It's my great pleasure to introduce Mr. Matteo Elli. Good morning, good afternoon, Elli, who is joining us today from Italy. So let's have a short introduction maybe to introduce our guest today, Matteo, to know more and to know best who is our guest today, our speaker today. So Mr. Matteo Elli is the founder and the managing partner of Parsia Partners, a leading Italian investment firm active in deep tech, early stage, and tech transfers initiative with a strong focus on robotics and automation. He is also the founder of RobIT, the first national tech transfer hub in Italy dedicated to robotics and automation. With more than 20 years of experience in venture capital, corporate finance, M&A startup investing, and innovation ecosystems, Matteo has contributed to the growth of the Italian startup landscape through his work with organizations such as Meducabana, Sales Ventures, and Inverse Ventures. Today, he works closely with founders building the future through deep tech, robotics, and industrial innovation and automation technologies. Mr. Matteo, we are truly honored to have you with us today, and thank you again for accepting our invitation. And now the floor is yours. You can start your presentation.
Many thanks to you for the invite. It's my honor, and many thanks for the kind introduction.
Most welcome.
So I'm gonna share some slides, a presentation. So please feel free if you have any question during the presentation, because I don't see you, so I see the presentation screen. So if you have any question or info request, please write it in the chat. So at the end we can collect all the question and answer to them. So very quick introduction, just to give you some numbers about my current and former activity. I came from investment bank and fund of fund activity. As of today, invested through the different companies and vehicle about 1 billion. And during the last 7 years, we have created the Pariter Partners. That is one of the most active player in Italy with regards to tech transfer investment and deep tech investment. And currently we have completed more than 40 direct investment. During my career, I completed more than 20 investment in venture capital and private equity fund, just to give you a framework of the activity. Very quick introduction of Pariter. Pariter is an investment holding that combine specific know-how on technologies and business in order to support the creation of the company, starting from science, starting from research centers, thanks to the support of institutions, private investors, and corporates. We invest in deep tech, so basically new materials, advanced materials, sensors, the robotics, automation, and so on and so forth. As of today, we have scouted and analyzed more than 500 companies. We have a portfolio of about 40 companies, mainly in medtech and robotics, supporting more than 130 research centers, and collaborating with the main research centers and institute here in Italy. We are focused on the early stage investment, and then we will go through how the Italian ecosystem is structured in terms of stages, in terms of funds, in terms of kind of investment that opportunities that we have here in Italy. So pariter is focused on the early stage, so we invest even pre-company, so in the proof of concept phase, and then in the seed, the post-seed, the pre-Series A stages. So deep tech, it's a kind of hot word in Italy. So it's increasing the interest during the last 2-3 years of private investor institutions. So and then we will see the numbers of 2025. The attention, deep tech, hard tech, strategic technologies increased a lot during the last 2-3 years, and there is a peculiar difference between, let's say, low tech on software company and deep tech or hard tech companies creating from research. Basically, say before the seed stage, we have the research and the proof of concept. So if on low tech company we arrive at the creation of the company with already few amount of capital investment, most of the time on deep tech, when we create a company or the entrepreneur create the company, before the creation, there was an activity of research or proof of concept creation that can have a registered investment of more than 1 million, from between 1 and 5 millions. So that's a very, very, very specific difference to take into account when we invest, and the institution has to take into account when create the strategy to support the ecosystem. Even in terms of characteristics, other kind of characteristics, or in terms of R&D risk and product market risk, of course, deep tech early stage investment and even a later stage, there is a high R&D risk and a high product market risk. So there are hard tech or strategic technology that should be developed, and even the market, you have to start to develop that more than 3-5 years before the market get the technology. And so there is an R&D phase, a go-to-market phase, more extended than low-tech companies. And so that's important to have this kind of concept in mind when we look at the ecosystem. And then I will go through that. So very quickly, the main differences in terms of years seed round and the round size between different kind of companies. So tech company, software companies scale super fast, and you have to invest. There are more round in few times, and the round size go higher and higher very, very quickly. In deep tech, we have less round, and the size of the round raise according to the technology increase, the technology development, thanks to R&D and thanks to years into this kind of tech development. So the Italian ecosystem, very simple picture. So there are different kind of actors in the market. So there are incubators, accelerators, and venture builders, and this kind of activity grew. Let's say speed up the growth during the last 3-4 years, thanks to the support of the main institutional investor here in Italy, that is Cassa Depositi e Prestiti Venture Capital, that is basically Cassa Depo Venture Capital. Then there are innovation hubs created by the government, so thanks to Italian or European funds that put together institutions, research centers, technology parks, and corporates to facilitate the innovation and tech transfer. So there are more than 20 innovation hubs, vertical on specific sectors. And so that's super important. That has been in the last 3 years a financial program in Italy supporting this kind of innovation hub. Of course, there are private and institutional funding, so seed that covers seed, VC, and private equity operators. Public institutional capital. So these are the main investors here in Italy in terms of limited partners. So CDP, so Cassa Depot Venture Capital, regional programs. So we have several regions here, and each region has its own investment program supporting innovation in the different phases. So at the seed stage, at Series A, to commercialize the product, to support the R&D. Then there are European initiatives that finance specific programs, and currently European Union expand the geography and support a lot even programs or investment opportunities or companies that bridge that have an activity between European countries and specific African countries, and Algeria is among those countries. So this is an opportunity even for Algerian companies. So there are specific programs at the European level to support and finance even Algerian companies that are willing to get into Europe, or vice versa, European companies that would like to expand their business into Africa, or to create common project between Africa and Italy, or Africa and Europe, or specifically Italy and Algeria. Of course, there are crowdfunding platform. That is a trend that started almost 5-7 years ago, less than 10 years ago. So there was a specific law, specific law to start the crowdfunding activity. And so starting from 5-7 years ago, that kind of business start to expand and grow. So currently we have more than almost 20 platforms in Italy, raising capital online by private investors. And then, of course, the most important thing, there is the ecosystem asset. So the ecosystem is growing, is not the bad, probably not the larger one in Europe, still a lot of work to do, but is it growing, increasing during the last 3-4 years. And then there are, during the last 2 years, a lot of training program, regional program, assistant desk. So mainly this is the framework here in Italy. So very, very common in Europe, and even in Algeria and in other countries, but and still growing, still increasing the impact on the market. So we share this kind of picture thanks to Startup Y guys, that has been published in February 2026, so pretty recent. And you can see the different players here in Italy. So we have incubators, accelerators, and venture builders, a lot of them. And there is a specific program of CDP Venture Capital creating new incubators. And it started 3-4 years ago. And after 3-4 years, this program created more than a dozen of incubators. And that, as of today, support more than probably 200 companies here in Italy. Then there are more than 10 business angel network that collect together private investors, mainly people willing to invest into innovation, into startups. Then there are a very strong startup community and media coverage that grow a lot during the last 4 years. As I told, the crowdfunding platform, science park, and technology and technology park, and of course university research centers that are one of the more advanced in Europe. Then events during the last year, a lot of events have been created here in Italy, and that help to strengthen the community and to get foreign investors involved in the Italian ecosystem. And then you can see different seed and venture capital players or other kind of players. So it's, as I said, there is a lot of work to do. Of course, Italy, with regards to venture capital investment, is not the top 3 country in Europe in terms of capital invested. Probably one of the most advanced in terms of technology and in terms of hard technology or deep tech. Of course, not the main one in terms of capital invested. So Germany, France, UK, even Spain are let's say invest even more capital into this kind of asset. So some numbers on the last year, 2025. The total investment in VC was 1.7 billions, so 1,700 million, for a total of more than 400 rounds. And so the total amount is impacted by 2 mega rounds for a total consideration of almost 400 millions. And as you can see later, there is a majority of seed, post-seed, or early stage investment. So it means that we're still in the first phase of the development of the ecosystem, and it means that the strategy that the institutions are putting in place are working pretty well, supporting the first layer of innovation, so the pre-seed, seed, and tech transfer. And we need to speed up on Series A and Series B, but during the last year we see several rounds of more than 10 millions in one company. So that we hope that will be a positive trend even for this year and the next one. With regards to the exit, not so much exit. The average value of the exit is not comparable with US ecosystem or UK ecosystem, but it will come even considering the increasing attention of foreign investor and foreign corporates for Italian companies, and even to the fact that during the last 2-3 years, a lot of new companies have been created covering very specific and strategical technologies. So this is the evolution of the market during the year. You can see a big difference between 2020 and 2021. Why? Because thanks to new laws to support private investment, so fiscal benefit for private investors that support the increasing of the investment of private people and institutions, and the starting of the great support of Cassa Depot venture capital of the ecosystem. So thanks to these two activities, the ecosystem start to grow, and the growth continued during the last years. So in 2022, there was a couple of mega round in Italian companies. So the numbers are affected by these specific rounds. But you can see that the amount invested during these last 3 years increased, so almost double, and probably this year. And we are going at more than 2 billion invested during the last year. Even the average investment increase, and so it means that there is the capital. Of course, is less capital than the one invested in other countries, but is sufficient to support the creation of new company and the first phase of growth of the company. Of course, we still work. The ecosystem is still working on support the company in the Series A, post-Series A, and on the exit. That's crucial as of today. In terms of sector, so as anticipated, you see interesting increase in deep tech, life science, and almost in software. Software is affected by some mega round during the last year, and a decrease of the investment in fintech and smart city. That was a trend in 2021-22, and that decrease and increased investment in deep tech, life science, and etc. In food agriculture, we see a decreasing on the investment because some of that technology get into deep tech. So robotics apply to agritech, sensors apply to agriculture. So that kind of technology follow into the deep tech classification. So basically, the main sector that we see are space, automation, robotics, industrial technologies, agritech, and medtech. These are the main sectors where new companies have been created during the last years, and specific investment program have been created during the last years. The most innovative program has been the Tech Transfer Fund of CDP Venture Capital, so Fondo Tech Transfer, and that support the creation of companies starting from research and research centers. So there was nothing like that before. It started 3 years ago, and in less than 3 years, 5 tech transfer hubs have been created. Matched to this transfer hub, there have been created 10 tech transfer funds. So for each vertical, there are almost two investment funds. The verticals are environmental and sustainability, tech for planet, biotech and pharma extend, robotics, automation, RobIT, agri-food and tech, farming future, and aerospace, Galaxia. So in less than 3 years, more than 200 million have been invested in deep tech companies connected to research centers, so tech transfer activity, and that create more than 200 companies and POC. So in the last almost 2 years, more than 200 companies have been created from research centers and universities. So that was an incredible program that has an incredible impact on the ecosystem, and you will see that the pre-seed and seed stage increase a lot in terms of capital investment and even in terms of numbers of investment, thanks to this kind of program. So the Tech Transfer Fund and even the Accelerator Fund of CDP Venture Capital, these two investment programs, institutional one, have been crucial for the ecosystem. So one example, RobIT, just to give you an idea how does them work. And we as Pariter, we are the entrepreneurial partner, the managing partner of this kind of hub. So CDP Venture Capital we created the hub. It was the first one in Italy created almost 3 years ago. And it is focused on robotics and automation. And on one side, it involved the main Italian research center into robotics and automation, and the main association of scientists involved in robotics, so IREM. And then you can see the university involved as scientific partners. And of course, the program is dedicated to all the Italian universities. Focus is industrial technologies and robotics, of course. More than 20 million committed and almost invested, totally invested. And so there are institutional partners, corporates, and regional partners that support this kind of ecosystem. Just to give you an idea, just RobIT in almost more than 2 years invested in about 40 companies and more than 20 million invested in pre-seed seed stages, covering with regards to industrial ecosystem more than 80% of the early stage investment. So that's the impact on the ecosystem of this kind of program. So get back to the to the total amount of capital invested. You can see almost 300 million invested in deep tech. Of course, software that includes some mega rounds cover almost $500 million investment of the invested capital, and followed by life sciences, and then you can see the other sectors. And in terms of startup, if we look at the segments in 2025, AI and climate tech are the most impacted with regards to investment, even for round of less than 50 millions, and even with regards to round between 50 and 100 million. And biotech follow, financial management solution, and medical devices. So basically, artificial intelligence, of course, grew a lot during the last year, and in Italy started institutional fund focused on artificial intelligence, with more than 500,000 to be invested in AI, and still growing in terms of ecosystem. With regards to rounds, as anticipated, you can see that in terms of numbers, so number of rounds, pre-seed and seed stages cover more than 50%, almost 60% of the total. Very few Series A and Series B rounds, but you can see in terms of number, but you can see on the right that the impact of Series A and Series B with regards to the total invested amount is more than the 50%. So less than 20%, about 20% of total number of rounds cover more than 60%, almost 70% of the total invested capital. The seed and pre-seed, seed and bridge rounds are growing in terms of number, and there will become the Series A or Series B of tomorrow. So these are the numbers of the venture capital report of Italian Tech Alliance, that is one of the main association here in Italy for venture capital ecosystem. Quarterly distribution, so you can see an increase on numbers of investment during the last quarter, and due to the fact that several funds closed the investment fund during the last quarter of 2025. So we saw a decrease of the investment during the first quarter in 2026, because of course the new funds still to have to close their fundraising and to put new capital into the market. So these are the Italian framework. So you can see that it's characterized by interesting growth during the last 3 years. Several new players have been created during the last 3 years. So there have been a speed up of the ecosystem, a growth of the ecosystem during the last 3 years, thanks to mainly the institution and LPs that support this kind of investment asset. We still have to improve on the exits, so on the opportunity to sell the companies and to start and use that capital to create new funds, new company. So we are struggling on the exit and increase the number of Series A and Series B. But considering that just in 2025, we in Italy, the ecosystem complete more than 200 pre-seed and seed stages, it means that if we consider 50% conversion rate into Series A and Series B, it means that we should have almost 100 companies enter into Series A and Series B during this year and the next year. So the objective at the institutional level, of course, is to get to more than 2 billion invested into Italian technological companies and startups, and that's the objective. And we still have a lot of work to do to support the ecosystem, to create new companies, to support new programs on tech transfer, acceleration, and to transform the research or vision into new companies. So it's a very interesting journey. So we had two years that changed the picture. So the 2020-21, when CDP start to increase its investment activity into the ecosystem, and even thanks to the new law regarding the financial benefit for Italian private investor. And then 2023, when the institution speed up the investment activity and double down the investment into tech transfer into acceleration programs. So these 2 years boosted the entire ecosystem and are the basis to the ecosystem of tomorrow. So I hope to have covered the main topics, so the main and to help you to have a better understanding of the ecosystem. And happy to if you have any question. I see some question in the chat now, and or if you would like to know more.
Drop your question.
Yeah. And if you'd like to know more with regard to specific companies or sector, happy to answer to those questions. Okay. So what about the output? Yeah.
Thank you. Did you finish your presentation, Matteo?
Yeah. I was going through the questions.
Okay, thank you so much. So for the insightful presentation and for sharing your experience and some perspective on the Italian deep tech ecosystem. Honestly, personally, I inspired to discover how Italy positioned itself in robotics, automation, and discipline exactly. And I believe that the entrepreneurs who they are today with us, they found this ecosystem, I think, interesting and full with opportunities. And for this, I think we need to give them the chance to engage and drop their questions on the chat, or maybe just raise their hand and unmute themselves to pose them questions. So we have the first question from Nasruddin. He is raising his hand. So you can turn on your mic, and if you want your camera also, Nasruddin, to ask your question.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hidayah.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation, and thank you also, Matteo, for the insights. So let's just introduce myself. My name is Nasruddin Drisi. I am a medical doctor and co-founder of Sanox, which is a medical startup like based focused on AI medical triage. And currently we are working with CPMC, which is the biggest center of cancer in Algeria. And my question is, what do you think would be the business model with universities when it comes to innovation with startups? Because we don't have this kind of ecosystem yet in Algeria, and maybe you have more mature one in Italy. So what is the business model with them? Like we are a startup, they are universities, and we need to collaborate together in order to create real solutions for real problems. So this is my question. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your question. So I try to answer covering two kind of scenarios. So the first scenario is say researchers that or work into a university or are willing to work with a university to create innovation or new technologies, and companies external to the university that would like to speed up the R&D process. So, for example, just a brief more info. So we create, in order to, let's say, get a stronger ecosystem on tech transfer or relationship with university during the last year. So Pariter and the Italian Tech Alliance created the Tech Transfer Academy. So we created the Tech Transfer Academy during this year, and we had almost more than 150 students or applicants, and the average age of the participant was 40 years. So it means that there were not just students but professional of the market that would like to know more about the tech transfer, and that helped to create a common alphabet and a common structure how to do tech transfer in Italy, for example. But covering the two scenarios, the two examples, so to support scientists and the researchers to create new companies and create value for them. So most of the time there is a potential conflict of interest between scientists and the research centers. And so in order to put the people at the center and support people to create value on top of their mind or on top of their research, we created Tech Transfer Hub. So Tech Transfer Hub, like RobIT or like the others, give the opportunity to invest capital pre-company into the research center and focus that capital to develop a specific POC, proof of concept. Creating a framework where you create value for the entrepreneur, for the scientist, of course, for the investor, and at the end, even for the universities. Because if you support the creation of a new technology and then create a company and make a business on that, of course, you have then an agreement with the research centers to give back to research centers part of the future revenues related to that technology. So the first step was to create the Tech Transfer Hub, to create a common framework to support researchers and scientists to create new companies. And that helped a lot to create those 200 companies in the last 2 years. And on the other hand, if you mean external company, how they work together with the research centers, so that's a little bit trickier. And the most common relationship are joint lab. So the creation of a joint lab focused on specific technology that has the objective to create and develop a specific technology with focused capital, focused people on that technology. And so that it helps to focus everybody on a specific objective and not lose time and effort and capital in things that are not connected with the specific objective. I don't know if I answered to your question.
Yeah, thank you, Matteo. So to summarize it, so there is two kind of a collaboration between startups and universities in Italy. That's it.
Yes, I lost you.
Yeah. You have two kind of two ways of collaboration between startups and universities, and like from where the startups like gets the money to run the solutions and do the research and development.
Yeah, as anticipated, there are the ones that born from research center gets capital from tech transfer hubs that are focused on this kind of activity, and this kind of approach has been created during the last 3 years. So there are specific funds, the ones that I show you. I get back to the presentation. So there are these 5 apps, so Tech for Planet, Extend, RobIT, Farming Future, Galaxia, that have capital to be invested pre-company and at the pre-seed and seed stage to support new companies and support the creation of new companies starting from research centers. And then once these companies arrive at the seed, post-seed, the Series A, we have the other funds. So for example, Mito, Algebrix, Indaco, 360 Capital, etc., that invest in the post-seed Series A, post-Series A phase. So this is an integrated ecosystem where you start from the research and get to the Series B thanks to the capital of Tech Transfer Hub plus the funds connected to Tech Transfer Hub. So that's the creation of the last 3 years, and that has an incredible impact on the ecosystem. So more than 200 million investment, 200 companies created from scratch. So that's changed concretely how people create companies starting from research centers and starting from science.
Super. Yeah, makes sense. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. So there is another question about aquatech. I see hand raised.
Yes, Sid Ahmed here his hand to ask a question. Sid Ahmed, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear definitely you.
Yes.
So, hello everyone, and hello Mr. Matteo. I am Bouberima Sid Ahmed Al Muntasser, a master student in marine biology and aquaculture from Algeria. I have an innovation project on biotechnological valorization and of Artemia and microalgae such as Dinalila. I'm very interested in combining the deep tech such AI, IoT, robotic with marine biotechnologically and the blue economy. So you earlier mentioned the robotic tech transfer early. So my question is, how can a robotic be applied in aquaculture and marine environmental? For example, like an underwater robot for monitoring, automate feeding system, or harvesting a robot.
Yeah, sure. Super. So just a quick step back with regards to aquatech. So you in Algeria, you have Leancubator that are hosting us. That probably is the main Algerian partner for international partners with regards to blue economy. So I was the former president of the Italian cluster of blue economy, and so we were the cluster is focused because it's still there on the blue economy, and thanks to Leancubator, we and the Tunisian hub, the Tunisian cluster, the Mauritanian one, we created all together a sort of ecosystem of international hubs, international clusters with a focus on blue economy. So with regards to Algerian ecosystem and the connection with international ones, so Leancubator is the best partner probably in Algeria. And with regards to solution that where we invested, or we see that have been developing the Italian ecosystem. So of course, drones under subsea drones for monitoring, for harvesting, for that's an interesting that are interesting technologies, or farm to grow a different kind of algae for nutritional application or energy creation. So these are the main ones, or supporting and monitoring the aquaculture activity. So if the fish are good or not, how they're moving underwater, and so aquaculture. So robotics applied to aquaculture, it's another trend to higher the level of monitoring of the culture. So these are the main technology that we see, and we saw even thanks to the agreement that we had with the Algerian cluster, and considering the Italian cluster in blue economy. So we focus our activities and our development activity on those sectors. So aquaculture, water treatment, monitoring, and application of autonomous robots for underwater inspection and monitoring.
Okay, thank you very much. And also, I have another question. Are there open source tool or European project in AOT and marine monitoring that a young founder can leverage instead of building everything from scratch?
Yeah, you have to see the European Commission tender portal. I will share it in the chat.
Okay.
So here you can find. Now I can find it easily or quickly, but you can find a specific area, as I mentioned, that support European African projects. There was a specific program for blue economy, and so you can find. So for example, so give me just 1 second. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I try to show you. No, it's not so easy to navigate it very quickly. But
it's okay.
So for example, yeah, I share the screen. Oh, sorry, I lost. I don't. Where are you? Here. So very quickly. Okay, I don't know if you can see my screen. So, but
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we can
share
definitely
the
see.
link. But if you look at Africa, you can find a lot of specific programs. Some of that have been closed, but if you filter them, you can find a lot of program with regards supporting the European and Africa collaboration, and most of them are focused on energy, agriculture, and blue economy. So those 3 pillars are the main ones.
I'm amazed. Thank you very much, Mr. Matteo.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Sid Ahmed, for the question. Now let's
You're welcome.
move to the second one. I think Abdullah has a question. Can you hear us, Abdullah?
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Abdullah.
Yeah.
Hi, Hadiya. Hi, Mr. Matteo. Thank you so much for the presentation. I do apologize if you mentioned this already, but I wanted to ask about which criteria is used to select your startups, and is your financial partners or do they have an influence on these criteria?
Yeah, sure. So you have to consider that we run, let's say, the tech transfer hub. So our objective, of course, is to have a financial return on top of the investment. But even on the other hand, we have the objective to create companies or take some risk that other don't take. So in order to create the Italian way or the Italian company in specific market. So we can support the higher risk in order to create new companies that can change a specific market, and or to create the Italian way to get into one specific market where there are other companies or other other technologies already in place. So the main topic that we see, of course, the team is the main one. So in our model we put the people at the center of everything. So we need to see a committed team, most of the time full-time team, a team that is strong not just on technical side, but even is coachable. So we work with researchers that are at the first company. They have never been managers or entrepreneurs before. So we need people that are coachable, that can listen, listen to the people, to the market, that are able to change their view with regards to the technology and review it according to the market need. So get the team committed and able to listen, that's crucial. Then we look at the trend. So we have our vision with regards to the futures, to new technologies applied to specific sector. So our question when we see a team is the team good? Do this team have the capability to develop some kind of technologies to be applied to this market? And is their proposal included in a trend, in a market trend that we see in the future? Yes, no. And so are they able to create this technology in this market with these characteristics? So this is the main question. Then normally we don't look so much at financial, because at our stage, of course, every BP business plan is wrong. So we create a zero revenues business plan. So for the first 2 years, so no revenues. So this is a strong assumption. So we make an assumption that there will be no revenues in 12 or 18 months. So what is the capital that we need to develop the technology and speed up the technology development and the market discovery, not focusing on the revenues? So that's super important. Otherwise, the team, if you push for the revenues in deep tech, so you risk to lose the team after a few months. So we don't stress anybody on revenues. We focus on tech development, creating the tech gap with the market, because we have we follow our vision. So with regards to the market, and we try to support the team to create those technologies, those companies that can bring to the market technology that don't change the market, but create an impact in the short term and at financial term. Because most of the time, if you have a technology that disrupt the market is not able to integrate that technology. So you need technology that can be easily integrated in specific process, in existing process, that bring an impact since day zero. So that's the innovation that the market is willing to incorporate. And so these are the main KPIs that we see. And sorry, what is the second part of the question?
The second part was about your financial partners influencing the criteria.
Sure. Yeah, of course, they don't influence it, but we set up from day one the investment strategy. So we define together the investment strategy, and so we make the analysis and the evaluation according to that strategy. So of course, there is a continuous discussion with regards to the strategy, the portfolio, but I will not call it influence, but I will call you alignment of interest with regards to the investment strategy. That's super crucial to have a common view on the investment activity.
Thank you so much. If I may, I have a third question, if I may.
Yeah, sure. I see other question in the chat, but if you have one, then we can go through the question in the chat.
Okay, thank you, Abdullah. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
the
Hania.
question.
Thank you so much.
No, if you would like to make the third one, we can go through it. No problem. Or I don't know if we have
Yeah, you
time.
can ask the third question, Abdullah.
Okay,
if you want.
thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
I just want to ask, well, like sometimes startups have like obstacles that are not monetary. Sometimes like it's the government integration, for example. When it comes to obstacles like these, how do you deal with them exactly?
So could you be more specific with government integration or something like that? So if you
So
can make
for example, so for example, there are ideas that needs government integration, like a level of clearance, for example, or data transfer from government databases. So do you help, or what is the process there?
Yeah, there are not so many cases like that. And so here in Europe, specifically in Italy, we have specific laws for data treatment and privacy of data. And so it's not so common to have specific access to those kind of data. Normally, it's the institution or the government that make a call to evaluate technologies of partner to create a new platform on top of public data or institutional data. And with regards to specific technologies, there is a law that is called Golden Power law, that allow the government to stop any kind of transaction or a company sale or buy if the company is a strategic company. It means that as a strategic technology that is strategic for the Italian ecosystem, for Italian country. And so even in terms of technology, there are protection and attention that, of course, consider the current geopolitical situation. And on the data is the institution that of the government that directly manage the interaction, the selection of the partners, if they would like to create new platform or create or digitalize any kind of information or create business or new companies on top of those data. I don't know if I answer your question.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Abdullah. So let's move to the next question. The next question is from Sidra. It's from Suleb. Suleb, can you hear us?
Hello, good morning,
Hi,
Matteo.
Suleb.
Presentation.
Hello.
Good morning.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
I have a question about what you previously said. You said that you can give funding in some cases for Algerian startups only if there is a partner from Europe and the other startup is in Algeria and they are going to make a project in Algeria, or a Nigerian startup that want to invest in Europe or in Italy. But is there any chances that you can give funding for Algerian startup that has market in Algeria and there is no other EU partners with her? Because like in my case, I am a founder of startup in mobility, B2B bike sharing system, and this kind of projects is very there is a lot of competition in Europe, so I can't really invest this project in Europe, so I want to invest it here because there is a very huge market in Algeria. So is there any chance that you can fund Algerian startups that are going to invest only in Algeria?
So thanks for your question. So I will take into consideration two cases. So our case of Italian fund case. So we and other funds, we are not able to invest in Algerian company active just in Algeria. That is for due to the rules of the fund. So basically, the main investor in the fund, the limited partners, the LPs, are Italian institutions, and they set a strategy on the rules that the capital that has been invested by those institutions should be invested in Italy. So most of, or probably 100% of Italian fund can't invest in an Algerian company focused just on Algeria or just on foreign market. But it's equal for French companies or German one. So that's the first case. The second one is the European Union program. In some cases, there is the possibility to get capital for Algerian company to further develop their business in Algeria or in Africa, or to increase their business into Europe. So there are some cases, for example, smart mobility is one of that. You have to check the European Commission plan and the European funding opportunities. So, but currently there are some European funds, they are focusing on investing in African companies. So, and even in Italy, there is a plan that is called Mattei plan. And I can share here the government link here in the chat. Sorry, give me 1 second. So here we are. So the Mattei plan, it's the Italian strategy to support African partners, and Algeria is one of the most important one, probably the most important, and to strengthen the connection between Italian ecosystem and the African one. So into the context of Mattei plan, there are specific agreement with regards to Algeria. And for example, we pariter with Leancubator, we are working on that to create an Italian Algerian ecosystem to support Algerian startup to get into Italy, or to create connection between Italian entities and Algerian ones. So the suggestion to look at the European funding opportunities specific for African companies, and to the action and the activity of the Mattei plan with regards to Italian strategy to support African companies.
Okay, thank you. I understand. And what if, for example, a Nigerian startup that can opens in Italy and start working there, start an activity there, but with 2 headquarters, one in Italy and one in Nigeria. So after that, when the startup can get funding there, so it is okay. Is it okay to spend that funding in both of the headquarters?
Yeah, sure. This is the case where Italian fund can invest in the company. So create an Italian angle, so an Italian company. So create business into Italy, and then of course the Italian companies can support the Algerian activity. So, but you have to create a sort of impact of the Italian ecosystem. But even for French fund or German fund, it's the same. So you can, as fund, you can invest in foreign company if that company create a stable company into the country and create value for the ecosystem.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
Thank you so much, Sila, for your questions. Now, let's take Abdelkader question. Abdelkader, can you hear us? Hello?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Yes, to join this discussion. I am currently working on a project focused on intelligent spirulina aquaculture. Yes, I have 2 questions. Or the main idea of our project is to to create or to promote smart technologies such as IoT sensors, automation system, and data-driven monitoring. So my question for you, Mr. Matthew, is how I would like, how in this context of blue economy and blue ecosystem development, these technologies can create or can integrate those technologies to this type of aquaculture, spirulina aquaculture, to enhance more biomass production.
Yeah, sure. So this is a topic where we work together with the Leancubator, and we saw even with regards to the cluster. So my suggestion is to put you in contact through Leancubator with the Italian cluster or with the Italian association or fishery. So you can share your technology or your vision with this kind of association and evaluate, because the point is that it's the market that asks for the technology. So I have no specific vision currently on which are the main problem or issue or key points on aquaculture, not just in Italy, but in Algeria, Mauritania, and Tunisia. So, because now these countries are growing super fast, and thanks to this kind of technology, can compete not just on the price, but can compete even on the quality. So currently the market is Italy, high quality perceived, so probably not real, but high quality perceived, high cost, and North African countries, average quality and low price. But if you can keep your low price and increasing the quality, you can compete directly with the Italian product. So of course, currently this kind of country, Mauritania specifically, compete in terms of volume and price. But if African companies can grow the quality, they can even increase the price, stay under the European ones, and so get even more market from not just Africa and China, but even from Europe. So I don't have the specific answer, but I will be more than happy, even with the Leancubator, and together to put you in contact with the Italian cluster for blue economy and with Italian Association of Fishery. So you can get answer to your question directly by the market leaders.
Yes, I appreciate your answer. There is another question, if you don't mind, to ask to you.
Yep.
Yes. Are there any existing pilot project or successful example in Italy or Europe in general where smart aquaculture system have been applied to those cases of biomass production or even industrial or semi-industrial scale?
Yeah. So there are, and even in cluster big, we support couple. Some POCs or with regards to monitoring of on aquaculture farm, and with regards to the quality, how the fish move, and how this kind of move impact on the quality. And then there are a couple of projects to develop an aquaculture facility to give a second life to oil extraction plant. So offshore plant of oil extraction here in Italy. So those plants are closed. So there are some projects to evaluate the possibility to transform them into aquaculture facilities. So this is another project and POC that some institutions are are evaluating and are creating.
Thank you, Mr. Matthew, for your answers, and I appreciate. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Abdulkader. No one has a direct question. If you don't have a question, we can move to the chat box. We have a few questions here. So the question of Sid Ahmed is already answered about the aquatech. So now we will move to the question by Mukhtar. The question is, Mukhtar have dropped two questions. So the first question is any example of company or startup that went through Italian VC funding round opportunities from North Africa or Algeria?
No, I look at the question and try to retrieve some case, but no case came to my mind. So there are no cases where VC fund invest Italian ones get fund from for the North African companies or Algerian one. So there is no cases that I can mention with regards to the Italian ecosystem.
So there is no example.
That's the opportunity. So that's why pariter and the Leancubator are evaluating the possibility to create this Italian-Algerian ecosystem. So, for example, we are evaluating the possibility to create specific meeting opportunities and mission for Algerian companies to meet Italian institution, Italian fund, and Italian association here in Italy. So in Milan, Genova, Roma, Napoli. So we are working on that with the Leancubator. So if you are interested about these kind of opportunities, please let us know. Let us know because so we can evaluate the numbers of people that would like to be included in this kind of opportunities, so we can speed up the process to create this kind of program. And even to get closer to the Italian ecosystem, Italian companies, association, institutions. So that's an opportunity that currently is not covered. So happy to support this kind of process.
Yeah, for sure.
And with regards to, sorry, no, just to give the answer, but probably we already answered to the second question. If an African startup should be transferred to EU or Italy to consider funding, currently yes. So as I mentioned, considering the funds rules and the geography that where we are allowed to invest, not just but Italian funds, but even German one, French one, you should have a European angle or Italian angle to develop in order to that your company could be taken into consideration by European and Italian funds. Sorry, it was just to answer.
No worries. I just want to mention that we have already 2% interest in this opportunity programs. So I think we need to speed up the process to give opportunity to entrepreneurs and startups to move on this aspect. On this stage, we answered the questions of Mukhtar, and now let's move to the question of Tiziri. Tiziri asked she said that from your experience in robotics and deep tech, what are the biggest challenges founders face when trying to turn complex technologies into scalable real-world solutions?
Yeah, probably the fact that they have to put in discussion their view. So there are people that work on their technology for years, and then when they talk to the market, they discover that the market need other stuff, need other characteristics, or need a simpler technology. So the point is not to force the entrance to the market of a technology, but to listen to the market and change the technology in order to create a technology or change the technology to be useful for the market. And it should not be a super new ones. Should be technology that is a impact in the medium or near term, with a concrete impact on cost, efficiency, facility of creation, of development, or industrialization, or solve some problems, for example, with regards to components or sensors or materials, considering, of course, the current geopolitical environment. So the main point is to listen to the market, and that's the main challenge. And the main risk is to create a technology that the market doesn't need. And currently, create a new technology is very cheap. So cheap, let's say in brackets. So we, for example, in our investment program, we invest less than 200,000 euros in the POC phase. And with that capital, we created autonomous vehicle, autonomous drones, autonomous, we create AI platform, we create robotics arm. So with less than 200K. That's crazy. So because the technology now is super cheap. So 3 people with 200K, 200,000 euro can create a new technology from scratch. Of course, you have to need competencies, etc. But so the main challenge from my point of view is to have the team committed, coachable, and to create a technology that has the characteristics that the market needs.
Okay, that's totally clear. I totally agree with you, with your point of view, Matteo. So I think that we move to the next question. The next question is from Mohammed. Mohammed asked, what about values of invention in Italy ecosystem?
What do you mean with values?
Can you hear us, Mohammed? I don't know if he's still with us or he leave.
So I guess if you mean the value of the companies or the value that we give to technology at the company creation, so are two different concepts. Or I don't know if you mean other kind of values, but with regards to the invention, basically the invention, the technology with no market, with no team, from my perspective, has a value equal to 0. And so we give capital and support to the companies in order to create a common ground, a common path to create value. And so when we do the first investment, we have not a fixed valuation, but we tend to have the team keeping the 70-80% of the company with not a fixed valuation of the technology. And on the other hand, if you mean the value of the, say, into the Italian ecosystem of companies that start from research centers, normally the pre-money value of the first round is range from 1.5 to 4 millions, and then on average the post-seed or pre-series A round in terms of pre-money range from 3.5 to 7.5 millions, so less than 10 millions. These are the valuation of early stage companies here in Italy on average. Of course, there are differences, but if we take the average, I can say that the value are these one.
Okay, I think on this point, I think you answered 2 questions in one question. Thank you so much, Matteo. So I think we finished all the questions. Thank you all. We have the last question from Abdullah. He is asking on the possibility to get in touch directly with you for consultation or proposal purposes. So I don't know if you can drop your email here or maybe a contact with Abdullah just to to stay in contact, maybe, or he can directly contact you on via LinkedIn. So I don't know what you will answer him.
Yeah, probably the best way is to if you contact Leancubator of the organizer of the meeting in order to, just because this kind of communication registers and it will go into the web. So I prefer to give you my email through Leancubator to the other partner. So you can, of course, you can contact me. Happy to support, get your feedback with regards to the ecosystem, how we can support you to get into the Italian ecosystem, to get closer to the Italian one, and we are working on it on Leancubator. So happy to organize a specific call or a specific moment with those are interested into evaluate the possibility to get into Italy or get closer to Italy, so we can have a number of potential participants to organize, even with institution, this kind of ecosystem or this kind of mission involving Algerian institution and Italian ones. And happy to support you in getting in contact specifically with specific potential partner or corporate here in Italy. So please send your request to the organizer, and then and your contact, and happy to get in touch with all of you that are the ones that need help to create the bridge with the Italian ecosystem, of course.
Okay, this is amazing.
Hello, Matteo. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much, Matteo, for this great presentation
Hi,
and
Abdel.
for the fruitful exchanges. I followed all the presentation and also the engagement of participants, and of course in Algeria, the Algerian startup ecosystem is also interested on this partnership with Italy, since we have many things to do together, but also many important partnership at the state level and the economical level, energy, agriculture, blue economy you talked about also. So yes, from our side at Leancubator, we are also working with pariter partners, as Matteo mentioned, on this partnership between and this synergies between the two ecosystems. We will organize, I hope it will be also something very interesting for all participants, this learning expedition to Italy, and vice versa also with the Italian partners that will also visit Algeria and to meet with the Algerian ecosystem. So yes, I saw some interest also from Woven. Woven is a startup that we supported last year. Very interesting startup, and also other participants. So of course, don't hesitate to send us an email to show your interest, and also maybe to give us an idea about what are the synergies that you identified through this meeting also with Matteo, and of course we will include you in this process with us. So thank you very much, Matteo, again, and I let Hidayah also intervene.
Thank you too for the invitation, and thanks to everybody. I hope to answer to your question and to give you the best vision possible on the Italian ecosystem. Sorry, I interrupted.
From my part, it's very useful session. We discover so many parts from the innovation, from Italian innovation ecosystem, which is mysterious from our side. So thank you so much, Matteo. And I think we answered a lot of kind of questions from different aspects. So thank you so much, and thank you for accepting the invitation and being with us here today. I wish that we cover all the aspects our participants they are looking for. And if you don't have questions, I want to say thank you so much, everyone, for Matteo first, and for all the participants who they joining us today and honoring us with this participant. And I just want to say, just stay tuned for the upcoming session from Venturize.
Super. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very
And
much
Thank
again.
you.
Thank you all.
have a great
Thank
evening.
you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
See you. Bye bye.